2 years ago. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, put into place a platform that provided guidance to consumers on restrictions in cruise travel, grading systems, and collaborative protocols for sailing safety, warning travelers against the dangers of contracting COVID-19 on a cruise ship amid the pandemic. However, the CDC has recently dropped its risk assessment of cruise travel, thus removing the COVID-19 cruise ship travel health notice. The removal of the health notice demonstrates the transition back into pre-pandemic operations for the cruise and travel industry as a whole. Needless to say, cruise travelers are absolutely thrilled to see that the CDC recognizes that it's time to remove this travel health notice. The move is a demonstration of all of the hard work the cruise industry has done to ensure that they're offering the safest way to travel. The cruise industry has now put in place effective public health measures on cruise ships that begin to level the playing field between cruise and similarly situated venues on land for the first time since March 2020. From the onset of the pandemic, cruise lines have prioritized the health and safety of its guests, crew, and the communities they visit, and are sailing today with health measures in place that are unmatched by virtually any other commercial setting. According to World Travel and Tourism Council, the removal of the travel health notice for cruises is well-deserved recognition of protocols that make cruising one of the safest forms of socializing and travel. The cruise industry has been sailing millions of travelers for many months with highly effective protocols that make cruising among the world's safest forms of socializing and travel. The cruise industry has gained strong momentum in recent months, with many travelers anxious to again begin enjoying holidays with families and friends, and the CDC's decision begins to help level the playing field between cruise and land-based vacation options. This is also welcome news to the extensive network of cruise suppliers, many of whom are small businesses that depend on the cruise industry for their success, which will continue to help provide significant positive impacts on economies and employment for islanders in the Caribbean and regions around the world. Both cruise ship operators and cruise travelers welcomed this announcement, which came as many of you are thinking about summer vacation plans. The removal of the notice doesn't mean that the agency considers the activity to be without any risk. As cruise travelers, you must make your own risk assessment when choosing to travel on a cruise ship, much like you do in all other travel settings. CDC's decision to remove the notice was based on the pandemic's current state and a decrease in coronavirus cases on cruise ships over the past several weeks. The health agency recommends travelers stay up to date with their COVID-19 travel vaccines before traveling on cruise ships and follow cruise line requirements and recommendations. The CDC also advises travelers to check on the color code of the ship they plan to sail on, which indicates the ship's vaccination status, whether it is under investigation by the agency for COVID-19, and what public health measures each ship is taking. While current travel requirements vary by the various cruise lines and travel destinations, on cruises embarking from the US, the crew and the majority of passengers, if not all, must be fully vaccinated. The requirements for children also vary. You must first check with your cruise line to see their requirements. You should always exercise caution in terms of jumping on a cruise ship. As long as there's Omicron around, there's a reasonable likelihood there will be someone on the cruise ship that is affected, and it could be transmitted to you or another passenger. If you're vaccinated and boosted and you're not immunosuppressed, we think that you're in pretty good shape, and the likelihood of you getting a serious infection is small. However, always keep in mind that if you become symptomatic and have to isolate yourself, that could ruin your cruise vacation that you paid a lot of money for. It is therefore recommended that travelers who do decide to board a cruise should get tested as close to the time of your cruise departure as possible and no more than 3 days before travel. Additionally, the CDC said travelers should get a COVID-19 viral test 3 to 5 days after the cruise, regardless of their vaccination status. It is recommended that if you aren't fully vaccinated, or if you are at higher risk of developing severe disease or outcomes from COVID-19, you should avoid cruise ship travel for now. However, if you choose to do a cruise vacation, 1. It is recommended by the CDC that you get vaccinated. Complete your COVID-19 vaccine series along with any additional recommended doses based on CDC recommendations. 2. Check the COVID-19 testing and vaccination requirements and other entry requirements for your shore leave locations, as well as the entry requirements for returning to your home country. 3. Consider selecting only cruises and excursions that require proof of vaccination. Regardless of your vaccination status, consistently follow individual public health measures, such as wearing a mask and physically distancing where necessary, even if it's not required. Unvaccinated guests are strongly encouraged to have their negative COVID-19 test result and all the necessary travel COVID documentation prior to traveling to the cruise terminal to prevent a situation where you may have to pay additional testing fees, not be able to cruise, or be eligible for a refund. We would love to hear your honest thoughts and feedback on this video and our channel. It will help us create better content you want to watch. So, please, like, subscribe, and share our channel with your friends and family, and turn on the notification bell for our next video. Check out the Gyri Caribbean Lifestyle and Travel Adventures blog at gyri.com or click the link in the description below. Until next time, stay Gyri.